All right. We're coming back again. We're coming back again. All right. Live on YouTube, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. We good? I'm going to show you something awesome. Just give me a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to share with you the Newsbeat challenge, the most consistent strategy in today's market. Not only am I going to show you the updated one and done C strategy, I'm going to show you its hit rate. I'm going to show you unbiasedly every single name I was watching today. I'm also going to show you how I executed on my platform, and I'm going to show you how you can make money very easily every day without any of the nonsense, without any of the noise, without any of the BS, without any of the shiny objects, no pump and dumping, no nonsense. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I'm going to literally show you how to execute the easiest, most consistent strategy on Wall Street. It is very simple. It is very easy to follow. I am going to show you exactly how to do it. By watching this video, you agree to hold me, Mark Melnick, and T3 Live harmless, not responsible for anything portrayed on this video. If you do not agree to that, exit. If you do agree to that, just continue watching. Thank you so much. So I'm going to bring you right into the action. We're going to go right into the newest version 6.0 for the one and done strategy. The examples are for, I guess, examples, right? Examples are for long ideas. You could do the opposite of a short. And I basically try to simplify it as much as possible. Now, I just want to point out when people see a win rate like 93.6%, they are thinking that you're either shorting naked options, which is the most imbecilic, stupidest thing that you could do for your career, because all that is a fake form of consistency. It's basically saying, like, look, you're consistent, you're consistent, you're consistent, until one day you don't have a trading account anymore, and you're like, oh. And they tried to back it up by saying you have to be comfortable with, I don't even want to get into that nonsense. We're talking just straight buying stock, shorting stock, buying calls, buying puts. We're talking the simplest strategy to do this here. So believe me, I understand what it looks like when I show you something that has, whoops, goodness. I understand what I'm showing you here. There we go. I understand what I'm saying here when I show you a 93.6% hit rate. I understand that it's a very bold statement, but bear with me because it's not just me showing you a number. It's actually people around us hitting rates similar to that number, some of them higher. There are people who are batting over 96% in the room. There are people who haven't done many who are batting 100%. There are people who are batting 75% on the strategy. 93.6% of the time, the effective rate was based on how I can hit the strategy and my determinations of the strategy. So just keep that in mind when I say that. We're going to make it any simple. Choose any Newsbeat name. That's step one. So the reason why I say that is if you do not do that, the hit rate will drop dramatically. I watch the big names. I mean, I'll just show you. Basically, I try to watch like the thickest names out there. So yes, I do have the handwriting of a doctor. Do you know how embarrassing it is for me when I write something down and I don't understand what I wrote? That happens to me at least once every 2 weeks. I write something, I'm like, what did I write there? Because it's so damn sloppy. But if you can read it, if you can translate doctors' handwritings here, no, I don't have my PhD. Amgen, Roku, Nutanix, AT&T, and Acadia, names that were phenomenally momentum-driven names today with tons of volume. Um, we're going to go through it. So all you have to do is pick one of those names. The second step, very simple. Just wait for the first 1 minute bar to close. You're waiting for the first 1 minute bar to close. So what I'm going to do with you here is I'm literally going to just take you on a chart that shows nothing but candlesticks and volume for the time being. So for example, here's AT&T today. Very simple setup. We saw that AT&T had a ton of volume today. If you weren't watching AT&T, there was a big news this morning. You could see AT&T did 117 million shares today, then bounced off our algo support right here. Whatever, that's not the point of this video. But I just want to show you how you could literally make thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, depending on your account size and the amount of risk you want to take, of course, with very little stress, ignoring all the nonsense out there, no pump and dumping, no, just showing you the winners and hiding the losers. No, shorting micro cap stocks, not shorting failing companies and praying that they go down. Those are like the detestments. Like those companies detest traders like that, and even the brokerages detest traders like that. It's kind of crazy how this world works. We're talking a very calm, simple strategy. No brokers calling you, no issues, no nonsense, no reviewing, nothing. We're talking the simplest strategy, and I'm going to take you from step A to step A to Z, showing you every step of the way how to do it. So you wait for the first 1 minute bar to close. So the day opens, and the first thing you do is, I'll just scroll right here, is you just are waiting for this 1 minute bar to close. So it closes right here, right? The next step of it is make sure the exponential 8 moving average and the VWAP are below the candle top you're buying through. All right, so this is where it gets a little interesting. I'm showing you is freestockcharts.com. This is freestockcharts.com. It's free, and in the top left you'll see a little green plus sign. I think you could see that. You literally just click it, and you just simply add exponential moving average 8. It's actually preset here. I'm going to move my face only a mother can love. Exponential 8 moving average. We're going to add that right over here. I'll just show you from step A to step Z again. You hit that little plus sign up here. You go down to exponential moving average 8. You click it. Then you click AT&T. And automatically it comes up with the color I like, yellow, and you get it on the screen. Next one, you have to add the VWAP because you have to make sure these two things are below the candle top you're buying through. Very, very simple. So you just go to this green line, this green plus sign. You scroll to the bottom, you'll see VWAP right here. You just literally click it, and it appears. So you got a yellow and an orange line. Basically, if you're buying something, all it means is this yellow and the orange line has to be below you. And for anybody out there who says these moving averages don't mean anything, these VWAPs don't mean anything, look at our hit rates. Look at how we're hitting this market. We're not even using it as a buy point. Like I don't use this exponential 8 and VWAP together and say we have to buy it here, even though I have some strategies like that work. That's not the point of this strategy. The point of this strategy is to show you how you can bat potentially over 90%, like a lot of us do, myself very included among that mix, on a strategy. And I'm going to take you to point A and point A, point Z, show you everything I do, the order, everything. I'm going to make it so stupid and simple. So please respect as I'm taking you through the entire process, because I'm going under the assumption that you're not using, you're brand new to trading. Like I would teach my son this strategy if he asked me, Daddy, how do I day trade? I would show him this one strategy that I'm showing you today. Okay, he's 4 years old, by the way, totally not ready. But anyway, okay, so here we go. You got an exponential 8 in VWAP. Let's go to the next part of it. Buy through the top break of the next 1 minute candle. So after the first 1 minute candle closes and the stock is trading above the exponential 8 in VWAP, you simply buy through a market order. So let's take you through that. It's very simple. So I'm literally going to show you my live trading account here. And if you see any of my account information, there's only one thing I ask from you. Just kindly copy the details down, send them to anybody who's in Nigeria, claiming they're a Nigerian prince, and definitely send it to every single place that you know in Russia. And if you have a little black Sharpie, make sure you marker it in on a bathroom, in a gas station bathroom. That way everybody can also share in the fun. With that being said, it's very simple. So let's say you wanted to trade. I know it's like a little hard to see right here. I don't exactly know how to zoom in, but here's the deal. The way my software is set up, let's say that one of the names I was watching is JP Morgan, which I wasn't today, but you'd simply type in JPM And T3 shares my layout for Newsbeat Live members, by the way. I'm actually I am the only person here who offers to share a professional gamer's layout design of a trading software. And that's important because as an ex-professional gamer, my goal is to use as few APMs or actions per minute to accomplish what I want, whether I'm buying or selling. So it's completely optimized for that. Thousands of people use this software layout, so definitely take advantage of it. So I literally type in JP Morgan. And right now, what you see is, again, your number could be different. You could preset it different. I'm preset for 100 contracts here, and just very simple. That's the equivalency of 10,000 shares, but you don't need as much money. Like if I were to buy 10,000 shares, for example, just to show you the example here, like to buy 10,000 shares of JP Morgan, which is $115 stock, it's going to cost you, 1.15 million, over $1 million to buy it. But if I wanted to buy 100 contracts right here at the price, it would cost me $8,000. So if I had an $8,000 account, I'd be able to place this trade. So it's very good for smaller accounts too. And of course, I wouldn't, I don't recommend any size that you should take. And if you're starting out with this, you always start slow and ramp yourself up as you make money. Fine, everybody knows that. Um, so literally, I have the quantity of 100 contracts. I have the order type already set for market. It's a day order. Okay. I have the $116 calls, which is the first option contract out of the money. And it has it on the earliest expiration. And you can see it says call here. And I literally just click buy to open. If I wanted to buy common stock, I'm preset for 1,000 shares. I could change that, of course, if I wanted. I would just have it already set for market order. Goes through a smart venue which tries to get you the best price, easy, and you would just click buy. So whether you wanted to buy stock, I'd buy it right here. If I wanted to buy options, I would buy it right here. And if I wanted to buy puts, I would actually buy it right here. So I have the common stock of JP Morgan, the calls, the $116 weekly calls, and the $115 puts, and it all sets up for you immediately. And I'll show you. Like, so for example, let's say I wanted let's say one of the names on the Newsbeat list tomorrow would be McDonald's MCD. So I type in MCD, enter. Already you see it's ready to buy 1,000 shares or short 1,000 shares, depending if I was going long or short. I'm ready to buy 100 contracts of the 217 and a halves. That's the first one out of the money. Or I'm ready to buy 100 of the 215 puts. And it's literally just one click away. That's how my software is optimized. So that's how I would actually place the trade. Now, the next part of it seems almost too simple and vague, and it really isn't because you can't mess that up. The thing is, when you have a strategy that's batting over 80%, generally you could sell whenever you want. It doesn't matter. I like to sell via limit orders. Sometimes you need a market order to sell. Everything is situational. I can't tell you what's the best thing to do at a certain time. What I generally do is as soon as I buy in, I'll set a limit order, for all or the majority of my position, 10, 15, 20, 25 cents higher, depending on the name. So like if I was trading like a Cisco, I might do it, 10 cents higher. If I was trading an Apple, I might do it 10, 15, maybe 20 cents, depending on the day, depending on the move higher. There really is no wrong answer. And you might be sitting there thinking, what is 10 cents? 10 cents is $1,000 on 100 contracts, and you make it in seconds. It happens so quickly, and I'm going to show you how effective it is right now that it doesn't really matter. Like today, I did the one and done. Remember, I said today I did a one and done that wasn't even on my list. I did Apple today. That's been a very common thing. I've done videos on why I've been choosing Apple every day. Newsbeat Live Room knows why, because it's consistent. And all you had to do today in Apple, here's September 9th, is literally buy through 214.86. The stock popped to 215.12. I sold. I sold. Quick 26-cent move in Apple. You might be sitting there thinking, Mark, I'm here to make dollars. That's nonsense. That's nonsense. The gurus who you see boasting about P&Ls, they are doing generally dozens of trades behind your back. Whether they admit it or don't, they are doing hundreds of trades at times behind your back. And if they do one of the trades they shared with you, well, that was coincidentally the trade that they were heavier in. and then they get to boast of it. This is not even about boasting. This is just to show you a way in which you can make money very easily. It's so simple, it's stupid. Honestly, like every time I make money in Apple, as you can ask anyone on the one and done, I laugh because it's so easy. It almost feels like I'm robbing someone when I do things like that. Yet alone, I'm trading one of Microsoft is larger, the largest companies on the planet, and it's infinitely scalable. So and you could see 1 minute later, it went to 215.45. So literally in 2 minutes, you went up 59 cents. You might be sitting there thinking, well, what can I do on 59 cents? You know, if you took 10 contracts, 10 option contracts, you don't even need a lot of buying power. You could do it generally with less than 2,000 bucks, less than sometimes less than 1,000 bucks, depending on the day of the week. You take 10 option contracts, you can easily make 10 to 30 cents on a move like that. And yes, even with a $2,000 account, I would be able to trade Apple and make serious money. And it's crazy. What's serious money for a $2,000 account? I think if you make 150, 200 bucks on an account that has $2,000 in it, I consider that serious money. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't consider making up to 10% of your account value serious money. I do. I do. And all you're doing is buying through the break of the first candle. Now, why was I able to buy it here? Because the top of the first candle here was above the orange and the yellow line that I showed you how to add. So Apple was a prime candidate. I didn't even hold for the, yeah, shot up much higher. Like I could have made a lot more money. Fine. I was actually very light in this one today. It didn't matter to me. I'm just literally showing you a way that I'm just literally showing you a way in which you can capitalize on these names. Okay, so as promised, I'm going to go through my 9 stocks that I talked about today. I'm going to show you the ones that worked, the ones that didn't. I'm going to show you everything. So I'm going to go from, I have a written list in the room. I'll spam it one more time in the room. It was written on the paper, and then I'm just going to take you through the 9 stocks I was watching today. So the first one on the list is Amgen. Amgen, again, we're attacking the biggest gap volume names. So there is something to that. All you would have to do is short through the break right here. You wait for the 1 minute bar to close. The orange and the yellow, the VWAP, just call it the orange and yellow dental floss. I mean, it doesn't matter what you call it. Call it Susan if it makes you sleep better at night. I really don't care. But the point is, you're shorting Amgen or buying puts through $202.20 right here. 2 minutes later, the stock drops $1.60, $1.56. Let's call it $1.50. Okay. 2 minutes later. Yes, it even headed lower and you could have crushed it. I get it. This to me, a trade like that, 100 contracts, there's no way I'm making less than 5, 6, 7 grand on a name on a setup like this. In hindsight, I didn't trade Amgen today. Me, I was involved in the Apple today. Fine. I'm just showing you the potential. Okay, I made money on the Apple. I didn't catch money on the Amgen. The truth is, they're both triggering at similar times. Like I was involved in Apple at this point. I didn't quickly jump over and do a 1 minute. This is a 1 minute chart. I didn't jump in an Amgen, but I'm going through every single one of the Newsbeat names because it's part of the damn rules. It's the first damn rule. All right. No, you can't do this on every single name and bat that. I tried. Believe me, I tried to do that. It doesn't work. You have to do it this way or figure out your own way around it, which you might from this video. And if I accomplish that for you, great. So Amgen today breaks down. I consider that working. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't consider this $1.50 move in Amgen working. Maybe you don't consider this 26.50 cent move in 2 minutes in Apple Plus working. Maybe you don't. So maybe the strategy is not for you. But what I have realized is the vast majority of people can do it. Because what you have to understand is on the software side, on Apple, like for whatever, it doesn't even matter the stock, let's say like Amgen, right? And you're looking at the puts in Amgen because that name gapped down and we're talking about a short in the morning here in the Newsbeat room. All you would have to do is sit there, for example, on the $200 puts with 100 contracts ready. And some of them are wider, some of them have a big spread. Apple doesn't really have a big spread early on. So Apple was a prime candidate. Amgen might have. The truth is I wasn't looking at it. I'm reviewing it now. I was involved in another one and done that work. You know, You don't really need multiple one and dones. All you need to do is pick one of these names. What I'm showing you is I'm not cherry picking here. I'm showing you everything we are watching. So all I would have to do is, if I was watching Amgen for a long, is I have the $200 put, this expiration this week, 100 contracts, market. I'm just sitting there with my finger on the buy to open button. And as soon as I click this buy to open button, I'm in. You know what happens as soon as I'm in? My P&L explodes. My P&L explodes because I'm not down money for a single second. The stock plummets, plummets, plummets. And it opened up here. So it closed down here. Literally, when you bought it, this bar was just about ready to open. I would say within 10 seconds of buying it, you were up at least 3, 4 grand, 5 grand maybe. At least within 10 seconds of opening up this position. That's a dramatic example. Not all examples are dramatic. The next thing on my list was Roku. Roku, we were watching for a long. It gapped up. Now, many of you guys probably saw Roku fall today. You want to know? Newsbeat Bandits didn't even realize until the end of the day. This was Roku today. It finally came in on the daily. But how about those bandits who are doing just the one and done strategy, which I'm sharing with you? Right over here, 173.86. You buy through here, goes to 174.55 immediately. This is within seconds. Seconds, it jumps up 69 cents through your buy target, but through your buy trigger. Then if you held it a little longer, went up another 74 cents for 1 minute longer. You tell me, maybe you would have held it better than I did. A lot of traders do. But here's the bottom line. The orange and the yellow piece dental floss, the orange and the yellow, call it whatever you want. The orange and the yellow Susan are trading above the thing here, so you have the right to buy it. So Roku, so far we're 2 for 2. I'm positive one of these are not going to work, by the way. I just don't know which one it is. Okay, here's a good example. Nutanix, we're looking for a long today. Gapped up. 2570 high, doesn't break high right here, 2569, 2552, 2547, 2546, breaks 2546 right here. Goes up actually from 2546 to 2588. But I ignore this. Why? Because the VWAP or that orange line is trading above it. We want it again. We want to make sure that it's below the candle top we're buying through. So since we were buying through right over here, we're just looking for the next break of the 1 minute top of any candle. Just the first one that does it. Not any of them, the first one that does it. So we ignore this trade. In hindsight, would have it worked? Yeah, we could probably make money on that. But it actually went through day highs, which is, a logical target. Here is the point. I ignore it because it didn't follow the rule. Now, you're going to notice I'm going to ignore things that were hard to play and ignore things that worked out beautifully. It's all about consistency. It's all about taking the trades that you would have taken. How would have you done? So because the orange line right here is above, we ignore Nutanix. AT&T, one and done. Right over here through 37.79. Could you do it? No, because the VWAP is at 37.83 right here, so you couldn't buy through here. You could argue that it would have failed. It would have popped 17 cents in your favor and then pulled all the way back down through day lows. But you ignore it because this VWAP is trading above you. And as I say, you cannot you're not allowed to break any of these rules. You're not allowed to break rules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 isn't a rule, 6 is a statement. You cannot break those 5 rules. Not even the take profits one. I know it sounds like a funny rule. Believe me, some people break that rule every day. I mean, with whatever, the number of people we have, someone is breaking that rule every day. So on AT&T, you ignore it because this orange line is above. All right? So it's not that it failed. It's not that it worked. It's you don't play it because it didn't befit the rules in which I showed you. You want to try to bat 90% plus? You have to follow the rules because that's what the parameters were based on. Next one was Acadia. Huge mover today, Acadia. The stock, here's it on the daily. Stock gapped up massively, put in 22.5 million shares today. So again, we are going after obviously the biggest names. Wait for the first 1 minute bar to close. And by the way, people who trade common stock and prop traders, it's 100 times easier with common stock than it is with options. but not everybody has a large account. Not everybody can trade options. I mean, not everybody could trade common stock. So, like for example, to take 10 contracts of an Apple will cost me, whatever, $1,000, $1,100, 12, whatever it is on any given day. But try buying 1,000 shares of Apple, it's going to cost you 200 grand, over $200,000. You get the picture? So whatever I'm showing you on options are more easily done, believe it or not, through stock because you're up money immediately. Prop traders are turning consistent off of this in our room. We have the most successful prop traders in the industry, percentage wise, bar none. Bar none. I've seen the results from our traders. We destroy the prop industry average, which you would think isn't hard to destroy since 98+% of them end up failing within months, definitely by the end of the first year before they have to reload their account. I'm showing you how prop trading could be the most profitable thing for you, even with the exorbitant fees attached. You could use that buying power and make more money. You could create a win-win situation. So right over here, you buy through 42.05 on a 1-minute bar, goes through 43.24. Now, why are you allowed to? Because this orange line is below 42.05. This VWAP was at 41.92. So if you're watching Acadia and the yellow line was below it as well, that's usually the case for large cap names. It's not like something unique. You would be able to buy through 42.05, and it literally went up $1.19. I'm not saying you caught $1.19. I'm not saying you even didn't hold it and caught more as it lifted up a little. I am saying is if your focus was to make 20 cents in that, 25 cents, you wouldn't have been able to blink before you were up that money. And I don't care if you caught $1. Maybe you caught 1,000 shares of it real quick for a scalp. You made $200 and you shut down your computer and you were in a good mood and you were nice to the people around you and you were happy and you were excited and you were reinvigorated because you finally think you found something that could work for you in the long term. And it's actually being proven to yourself through your own P&L, not through a talking head or a guru like myself showing you how well that I do it. You're actually building the confidence yourself because you are actually making the money. 1-minute chart. You have to sit there again, like if I was trading Acadia, right? Simple, right? How would I do it? Before the market opens, right? ACAD. Boom. Click. I'm in. That's it. Now, some people have hotkeys. They do it fast. I get it. Believe me. Ex-pro gamer. I know what a hotkey is. I know what quickness is. I'm showing you how you could do it simple. You could just be sitting there waiting with your finger on the buy button. And as soon as you see, a print happen on the level 2 above your trigger, you just click buy. Even easier. You see the high here of 42.05? This strategy is so automated that hint, people have already automated it and are making money consistently day in and day out, by the way. So let's say this 1-minute bar closes, you see 42.05, look what you could do. You could literally say, okay, let's do a stop buy order at 42.05 right over there. And you could literally do a stop buy order at 42.05. You click buy, the order goes through, and you don't even have to click buy. You're already done. If the stock goes through that 42.05 trigger, you're automatically in, and you're ready to sell your position, and you're up 25, 50, 75 cents before you even know what the hell to do with yourself, for lack of a better word. Is that a problem? In my eyes, Acadia would have worked beautifully because I know I can make money on this, and I know the majority of people there can make money on this. This is not complex. This is not BS. This is not this system or this method or that. Cut the BS out of your life. Cut the BS. Cut the nonsense. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the names that I didn't trade, but were on my list anyway. So what I did was I started you with my main names, which are written in that box. I always write those main names in that box. And I went through Amgen, Roku, Nutanix, AT&T, and ACAD. I wrote 2 X's next to the Nutanix and AT&T because we ignored it because it didn't follow a very simple methodology. However, I promised I wouldn't cherry pick, and I'm going to go through the 5 other names again for a total right here of 10 names. We're going to talk about Shopify. So Shopify gapped up this morning. It was upgraded. We're looking at it for a long. Pulls down, Pops here through 379.63. Yeah, maybe you could have made money. We're ignoring it. Look, the yellow and orange line are above you. We need it below us. Shopify is not a failed one and done or a successful one and done. It's not a one and done, period. It's ignored. LVS upgraded today. This is an interesting one because this one was interesting because you put in a double top here at 57.31. I tend to like the next bar to go lower, and you sort of blipped up here to 57.34 and then pulled back down to 57.30. Digested. The stock went against you 12 cents at its worst here, the worst case scenario, and then it leaned back up to 37 cents. You were up only 6 cents if you took this one, and then it would have stopped you out at the bottom here. You would have lost at worst, you should have lost 14 cents on this trade while being up a maximum of, depending on where you bought it, 6 or 7 cents. So here's an example of the strategy potentially failing. LVS gapped up, looking at it for a long. Again, not a major loss because you're keeping it really tight here from the bottom of the candle as a stop. Some people, I usually use tighter stops than that, more often, but that should be, mentally a worst case scenario. Pulls down to the exponential 8 and then rallies up. But this one and done is a failure. This one and done did not work today. And again, these are the names I don't trade anyway because they had very low. All the names I'm showing you now, the Shopify, LVS, CMG, Mercado Libre, and NTAP, they had very low pre-market volume. The ones I showed you before, the Amgen, Roku, Nutanix, AT&T, and Acadia, they had the high pre-market volume. Those are the names I go after, but I promised you I wasn't going to cherry pick. But in all seriousness, I would never do a one and done on these names anyway. So what I'm going to do starting tomorrow is I'll tell you all the names that I'd be willing to one and done. It's very obvious I'm going to be basing it entirely on pre-market volume. So here's CMG today. It's kind of weird because the stock didn't print at all for the first 2 minutes, like 0 shares go off. I mean, honestly, I would never trade this in a million years. 848.52 for the first 2 minutes, and then it popped up to 849.90. And the VWAP is at 848.52, exactly at the same level. So technically, it's not even above. You obviously ignore that one because the orange line isn't below. It's at the same level. This is not, and also in the future, outside of earnings, this is not a name you do one and dones in. And here's another name you don't do one and dones in on my list, Mercado Libre. Gapped up 900, and no, that was the other one. Big price target upgrade today. Pulls in. You have a one and done long right over here, but you ignore it because the orange line is above you. And also in the future, even if it was below you, I don't do one and dones on very illiquid names. Here's an interesting one. NTAP, you're waiting for the next break of the 1 minute. It starts pulling down, pulling down, pulling down. And this is right over here, believe it or not, the first time you break through a 1 minute top. Right over here between 9:39 and 9:40 a.m. Eastern Standard. And it actually would have worked, but again, because the orange and yellow line are above you, I ignore this trade. So out of the 5 higher pre-market volume names, and you could look at it yourself, Amgen, Roku, Nutanix, AT&T, and ACAD, 5 ideas, 2 of them did not follow the methodology, 3 of them did. Out of the ones that did, you bat 3 for 3. If you took any of the others, you would ignore them all with the exception of LVS, and LVS would have failed. So from what I actually showed you, there would have been 4 names out of the 10 that would have fit my criteria, and you would have been batting 3 out of 4, which is 75%. But remember, when I share with you this hit rate, this is based on all of them since August 1st. And I want to tell you why that's important too, real quick. You might say, oh, I have strategies that are back tested 5 years. That's such nonsense and BS. Give me a break. So you're telling me right now that if you had a strategy that was 85%, let's say 90% consistent, which almost none of them have, if you understood the amount of years and parameters that you have to add to tighten and tighten and tighten and tighten to get to these high hit rates, I've been through that process, and I've been doing it manually before I've had the help of actual, computerized back testing. But like, let's say you have a strategy that works 90% of the time, and it's back tested over 20 years. The problem with that is a lot of strategies worked during a time a long time ago and are extremely ineffective today. For example, how many of you guys want to do a strategy that worked 90% over the past 20 years, but in the last month is only working 40%? How many of you guys want to do that strategy right now? Right now, I don't have it. I'm making it up, but that's generally what happens when people say they backtest for 5, 10, 20 years. They just don't work recently. Like, do you want a strategy that's been failing miserably in the past month, but worked over the past 20 years as a whole? So when I actually show you this, this is a lot more valuable. It's honest and it's a lot more valuable that you're actually doing a back test since the beginning of last month. The beginning of last month. I also want to mention that it ran through September 6th of last Friday, so today's results weren't inclusive in there. But look, this strategy works. It's the easiest way to make your day and leave. It's the easiest way to take advantage of the market and actually have full control of the time in your life. A lot of people have actually complained to me. A lot of the successful bandits, the majority of the people here, saying they don't know what to do with their time. And literally, a lot of the phone calls I've been dealing with is recently with bandits having issues, not P&L wise, but actually having issues where they're bored and they don't know what to do with their time. I'm not going to drop the person's name as I keep everyone anonymous, but one dude, I kid you not, was literally saying my wife drives me crazy now because she knows I have free time and she wants me to do everything for her, like clean the deck and fix the this and fix the sink and do that. And like he used to have an excuse out of it that he's working, so he didn't know what to do. I literally told him, I'm like, dude, hire someone to do that. He's like, he's like, I don't even tell my wife anymore that I finish work within the first 5 minutes. He's like, I literally don't tell my wife anymore that you are out by 9:58 a.m., Richard. You're working overtime 28 minutes. He says he literally doesn't tell his wife about this one and done strategy because his wife is gonna, she's gonna eat up his schedule and tell him things to do. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, how much do you make? He's like, on the one and done, he was up a little less than $200,000 last year, and he's up whatever, I think 100 and something thousand this year. So he's doing well to pay his bills. He has like 10,000 a month in bills, and he's actually paying them. He takes care of his kids and colleges and everything. So he has pretty hefty expenses, 10 G's a month. And talking to this gentleman, I'm like, look, you make enough money. Hire somebody to come power wash your damn deck. Hire a plumber to do. Oh, it's $200. I'm like, do you want your wife, bothering you all day? Say, honey, I'm working hard here, so I could afford to fix these things and pay somebody to do it for us. She'll appreciate it, and she'll let you spend time doing it. You know what he does in his time now? He literally day trades the first. Usually, I mean, sometimes he's trading 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but most of the time he's trading 5 minutes or less a day. And he's literally going through Netflix, and he literally asked me to start recommending Netflix things for him to watch. I told him to download Amazon Prime and watch The Boys. Watch The Boys. It's a little cute season of superheroes, and I was very impressed with it. And now when we talk, he just wants movie ideas so he doesn't do something stupid and go back on his computer and trade. So he's literally just sitting there watching movies all day. I kid you not. He became like Siskel and Ebert um, in his spare time. And yeah, that is one example that I'm giving you, but I am telling you it is very, very, very easy to do this. I encourage everybody to give this one more shot. I know you're not going to catch 10 one and dones. I'm saying just catch one of them a day. Have your order set out, click it out, throw it out 10 cents higher. Get used to closing it profitably 15 cents higher. I'm not saying you have to catch dollars and all these whatever ridiculous moves. I'm saying just try to catch 10, 20 cents modestly. You're going to be very happy. You're going to see yourself lock in profit. You're going to see green on the screen. You're going to cure your past psychological toxicity. You're going to build confidence in what you do, and you're going to be shocked of how easy trading can actually be. Newsbeat live levels. Sure. Sure, you guys want them. Maybe you were impressed how we called, the dead bottom of so many things today. How about the S&P 500? Here was yesterday's list. Oh, we also called the bottom of the Qs today and other names. I get it, but just using as a highlight the S&P 500. This is the names we shared with you. This isn't tomorrow's names. This is from September 9th today, but we shared it with you yesterday. 2969.62. We gave you as support on the S&P 500, 2969.62. Here is the daily of the S&P 500. You want to tell me trend lines don't work? 2969.39. Did you get that? 2969.39 is the day low of the S&P 500, one of the most active trading names in existence. We gave you 2969.62, the bottom 2969.39. We were 23 cents off the dead bottom of one of the most active trading futures on the planet, if not the most active. It's the S&P 500. We gave you the dead bottom. How did we do it? I'll show you. Connect a trend line from December 26th to June 3rd. You do that and you can call the dead bottom of the S&P 500. Now, you guys are obviously not impressed with that. You're not impressed, and I could show you more bottoms we called today. You want to see tomorrow's levels. You need more proof. I'm not believing this. You got lucky, Mark. Okay, fair enough. I agree. I did get lucky. Here are tomorrow's levels today. These levels don't always hit, but when they do, I, Mark Melnick, tend to have an easy time buying contracts or buying common stock through support, or shorting common stock or buying puts through resistance. These levels always change. Do not tattoo them on your forehead. These are the Newsbeat algo levels for tomorrow. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, my Newsbeat challenge for you is to try one and done tomorrow and close it out profitably, regardless of how much money you make. I don't care if you make $1, $100, $1,000, or $5,000. Try to lock green in on your screen. It's very important to start the curing process of your psychology for trading. It's going to make you feel like a winner, not like a mess up. And if you're able to follow that and shut off your system and don't do anything else, you can feel like you can know what it feels like to be a consistently profitable trader. There's a reason, ladies and gentlemen, why the Newsbeat Live Room is the nation's, soon to be the nation's largest, fastest growing trading room. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Like this video? Thumbs it up. Get it out there. We have fake trolls making up, fake names. Kid you not, I had people literally slamming me when I did a cancer charity drive in which I donated so much, money to. I've had like some of the craziest stuff out there. There are people out there who literally make fake accounts to smash it. And it happens on YouTube because you can't really make a lot of fake accounts on Facebook, or either people are not doing it to us right now. So people like to hide their name, hide their face, and do something just to prevent material like this from being shared on the internet, which I do out of the goodness of my heart. I don't monetize these videos. So definitely, if you did enjoy it, whether you're watching in the room or whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thumbs it up, share it out there. Let's make the world a better place to trade one day at a time. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.